Hi, here we are with Eleanor Diane Gould in pictures from the family album that almost didn't make it because Eleanor said she would give me the album to give to a cousin, and then she changed her mind and decided that I should throw it away, but I did not. So here we have two lovely pictures, starting out with one on her mama's knee, seemingly extremely happy, in gales of laughter. And there's the other one on the right side of your screen with little Eleanor playing a string instrument, and I don't think it's a viola. I think it is a violin. And then we'll hear about how she came upon the fiddle and decided to take lessons and how much music meant to her. We heard about that earlier. Okay, here are the pictures. None of the men whose pictures were in that family album were identified. Eleanor's mother made tiny notes of the date and the name and the place of the pictures in this album. Okay, can you see that one of the little baby behind my picture? Oops, I guess we've gotten it. Okay, we're going on. She's 1.5 here. And here's another year onto that. There's 2.5, and then 3.5, and into March 1945, and July 4th. Whoops, I'm in the way of this one. I can't see. You could probably not see it either. All right, so here we are. Sorry, I have to back up. 1948. And 1950. February 1950. That looks like a Girl Scout outfit, doesn't it? And here she is, 51, with the fiddle. There's no date on this, but it looks like she's preteen, right? And 2 school photos, but they were undated and no notations on the back, except there seems to be a bit of a scratch out here. I don't know if it was the date or a notation about whether that was the one that was going to be used. Okay. Here's one that turned up that had a date on it, April 1956. So there she is, mid-teens, going on 16. And then this one, very, very casual in a sort of sailor top. That's not dated either. But wait till you see these. I think I remember someone telling me that Eleanor wanted to do some modeling and that she had the longest legs. So maybe she did do some stocking modeling or leg modeling. I think maybe she had. Anyway, you can see on here that there's a management and a phone number, but the name of the management is gone. And I tried to find it by the phone number. Nobody has that phone number anymore. Now, this is a rather formal picture, and it's Eleanor not cute. This picture of her holding the viola is the professional picture that also appeared in the orchestra book, the one that Andre Previn edited, that she gave interviews for. Now here's Eleanor in 1973 teaching piano, and it looks like a classroom because that's a blackboard up there with a with chalk. Look at that hippie look. That's only 1973, so she was what, 33 there? Yeah, in Kentucky. I cleared that with Barbara Bush. That she was in Kentucky in 1943. And she went to Germany. And here she was as the cantor at the City of Worms Synagogue. Worms, City of Worms, in the early 80s. More photos, not from the family album. This one turned up. Richard Etchesy gave me a copy of this picture. And here she is in New York, entertaining the public with the beautiful music of Walter Piston. I just found out how lovely his music is, that he was a very classical type of composer who had studied with Nadia Boulanger. I remember her looking like this. And I think this was, I call this the mature picture. But there's also no date on it. I took this picture when she had come into New York. I see the date on here is 2005. And she invited us all to a restaurant. I'm not sure it might have been Dutch Treat, but she, instead of having a party at home, she invited us all out. This guy's named Heshy. And I took this picture also another day, another visit, and I think this was Yasha Dara, but I'm not sure. I never heard from Yasha. And this came along with an article that was published about Eleanor and her studio and her profession, and it was part of a newspaper article in Germany. This is interesting. I took a look at this picture and I said, well, what is this guy doing in the wheelchair? And found out that this is a doctor at the Biomed Clinique, and he wanted to try out her wheelchair. So that's why Eleanor is on her feet and Dr. Maltz is in the chair. The doggies. Eleanor's friend Mary Jane Anderson sent me these photos. Her friend, Eleanor's friend, Nancy Ross, had given her one of those sheepdog pups, whom she named Barnaby. We all know that Eleanor collected his combings, and after a few years, there were enough combings to be knit into the long sweater, a pair of gloves, and a hat. And you will hear more about the sweater and Mary Jane's video eulogy at the end of the playlist. Eleanor was in New York in 2018, and she's wearing a wig, and I'm wearing a wig, and that is Linda Condell with her real hair. I was wearing a wig because I had cancer. And Eleanor introduced me to the joys of wigs, and you know, it's a kind of style, and I never would manage myself. This is the way I look when it's late at night in New York. And in any case, we got together for dinner, and there we are. It's a nice shot.